What the heck is Formula One?
Pole position, strategy,
yachts and parties,
safety car, Ferrari.
beautiful corners.
Oh, right, okay. There's a car in front of you. Try and overtake it.
Oh, I hate you so much. Hello, you fools. Welcome back to another Formula Fools podcast. My name is David. I am your expert, guide, guru. I've not said guru that much in these episodes yet.
Wow.
Damn.
Good change, man.
No, I'm not. I'm going to bring it back in this one.
Okay.
And that person you just heard with the sexy, deep Aussie accent is Skin.
Hello.
Skin is our resident fool. He's a massive McLaren fan since 2024.
Yep. Got in at a good time.
Yeah.
Play easy, this F1 business.
It was between Aston Martin, which is the team we're talking about today, and McLaren.
And I picked the one that wins.
You picked the one that won that year, but you picked them pre-season, so you're not a glory hunter.
No, yeah. Yeah, I got in when they were pretty shit.
Yeah.
And then they were not shit very quickly.
Yeah.
It's been a wonderful
Big
2
turnaround.
years.
It's all because
as a
of you,
McLaren
Skin.
fan. Exactly.
Yeah. So we are doing a 34 in 34 series where for 34 days leading up to the first Grand Prix in Melbourne, we're going to be educating you on the 11 teams we have on the grid, the 22 drivers that we've got on the grid, and we're also going to give you our opinions and our kind of mini reviews on this year's livery launches and car launches with all the new aerodynamic upgrades and things that we're going to see. It's going to be a very exciting launch season. So if you want to follow along, if you have been following along so far, please hit the follow button, subscribe to us on whatever platform you're on. And if this is the first one you listen to, go back and listen to the previous 6 episodes. This episode 7.
Come on. Yeah,
Wow.
We're doing it. Smashing them out.
Yeah.
Also, if this is the first episode you're listening to of ours, Dave very generously said we're going to be educating you. I will not be educating you. I will be asking Dave questions. That's sort of the dynamic of the show. I know nothing about F1. Really only got into it because I met Dave and he didn't talk about anything else. So I sort of get to sit here and pick his brain about all things F1 related, and hopefully you guys get to learn along the way with me.
Yeah, but we as a collective.
Sure. Right.
Sure. I like it. Good preface. Okay, so yeah, this week we're talking about Aston Martin Aramco Formula One team. Quite a cool name. I like the name. Aston Martin Aramco Formula One team. Aramco's a cool sponsor title name. Atlassian's my favorite, obviously, but you know, Aramco's a close second.
Sure. Yeah, that's a nice name.
They are a British-based team based in Silverstone, United Kingdom. If you've watched any of their livery launches, you wouldn't know that they're British-based with the fact that they're Aston Martin, with the fact that they only rely on 007 as their branding. I mean, Aston Martin has been paying for the privilege of being 007's car for many years, so I don't blame them for leaning on that, but please do something new this year, Aston Martin. I don't know if their car will be out by the time this podcast comes out, but as of recording, we've not seen it. So I don't know what their promo video is going to be.
God.
Yeah. Remember last year at F175 when they had Stroll and Fernando like animated as secret agents and then they had them walk out with the helmets on in tuxedos or whatever?
Yeah, right.
It was so cringe.
Okay. Yeah,
But F175 was cringy anyway.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Aston Martin technically were founded in 2021. We will go on to that in a second. They've won 0 constructors titles. I don't think they've won a race as Aston Martin either.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think Aston Martin have won a race. They podiumed quite a lot in the early days in 2023.
Okay.
Fernando got a fair few podiums, but yeah, I don't think they've won a race. I think
I was going to say good on them, but not really. Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
If you're going to think of a driver to go with Aston Martin, it's actually quite difficult because the start of the Aston Martin era, they had Sebastian Vettel. And then into this era, this kind of, it wasn't long, but into this era now, they've got Fernando Alonso. Both multiple world champions, both phenomenal drivers, both big personalities. And they both dominated the teammate Lance Stroll, which is quite easy to do. But I'm going to go with Fernando Alonso as the most iconic driver in Aston Martin's history. It's only a small history. And okay, in the last episode, I chose a driver from a previously named thing, but Aston Martin fully took over from this team in 2021. Management, ownership, everything. Whereas in the last one with Racing Bulls, Toro Rosso was still the same it was still the same thing. Just Minardi was the big takeover from Minardi to...
Okay. That was more just a rebranding.
That was more just a rebranding and yeah.
Okay.
Whereas Aston Martin just like Audi this year have taken over from Sauber, it was a full takeover in 2021.
Gotcha.
And first time Aston Martin entered the grid as like their own independent F1 manufacturer. So,
okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to put Fernando Alonso as their most iconic driver. But speaking of their names, what were they named before? Well, in 1991 through to 2005, they were the Jordan team. Jordan, known for, like, it was Eddie Jordan's team, known for bold, brash management that Eddie Jordan's style had. You either loved him or hated him, but most of the time people loved him. He was a very funny character and a very big personality in the F1 paddock. And yeah, a lot of people really fucking love Eddie for the things he did. And a lot of you guys would know him for his punditry and his commentary and his podcasts that he did in more recent history. But yeah, just a legend of the sport, and he had his own team. And like people like Damon Hill drove for him.
Right.
Who was a world champion. So
yeah, okay.
You know, they had success. They won races, Jordan Racing.
Okay.
Yeah, back in the day. But yeah, in 2005, Midland took over. Don't really know a lot about Midland. I think they were literally only in it for a year. I didn't write down the dates, but Midland took over. Midland Motorsport, I think they were called. And then Spiker took over. Again, don't really know much about Spiker. I've heard the name. I know they're an F1 team, but I just don't really know much about them at all. Before Force India took over, bit of a controversial team with their owner, Vijay Mallya, was kind of like wanted on tax evasion or something in a lot of countries, so couldn't leave. I think he was in England or something, so he couldn't leave that and go to most of the races, so he was still managing. And then towards the end, there was a lot of like, the team were in financial struggles because of his ongoing criminal investigations.
Yes, okay. This is all like season 1 of Drive to Survive, isn't it?
Is the tail end of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they cover it quite well, but is the tail end of all of that drama.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he owned the team for quite a while there, like late noughties, early 10s maybe, through to the late 10s, 2010s, before they became Racing Point. Racing Point was kind of Lawrence Stroll and a consortium of people. I only learnt the word consortium when
What the fuck's that mean?
I think it just means like a group of people that put money together.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, but I only learnt of that when Lawrence Stroll did all of this. And they kind of bought out Vijay Mallya from the Force India team, and a part of it with them being able to, I think it was with like the UK law or something, that they had to rename the entire company if they were going to buy it out to be able to keep the factory, the people, and all of its assets. They could buy all of it out, but they had to fully rebrand to something new. Mm-hmm. So they rebranded to Racing Point. It was a very last minute decision. They had to do all of that very quickly with both financial, criminal investigation stuff, and also to then get their entry into F1. So Racing Point was kind of born.
Wait, sorry, what year is that? That's around 20...
That would have been 2019, I think, that Racing Point first entered. 2018, 19, somewhere around there.
Sure.
And then in 2021, Aston Martin bought out Racing Point, and Lawrence Stroll became full CEO of Aston Martin Formula One team and has like the majority shareholder of the Formula One team.
Okay. Right. So Aston Martin didn't just come into Racing Point as like a lead sponsor. They bought out
they bought
the team from this consortium of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lawrence Stroll kept a large shareholding.
Well, he spoke with Aston Martin and convinced them to come over and buy, and he invested a lot of his money and said to them kind of like, I want a manufacturer behind me. And so he invested a lot of his money into Aston Martin, and then, you know, kind of the takeover was there. Right.
Okay. And so he's now CEO.
Yeah. Of Aston Martin Formula One team.
Right. But not team principal.
No, not TP. He's just like Zach Brown is CEO, but not TP. Unlike Toto Wolff is, like, he's the majority shareholder and TP of Mercedes F1 team.
So this Lawrence Stroll bloke, obviously very wealthy.
Yeah, he's got a fair bit of cash.
But just like, I think he made his money bringing Ralph Lauren to Canada or something, didn't he? Isn't that?
I don't know much about his history, to be honest, so I don't fully know where he made his fortune.
Okay, right.
But wow, that is
well, that was my understanding. It's like he was in like fashion or something. I thought, I'm pretty sure that's how he made.
I mean, he's always a very well dressed man.
Oh, I mean, I've always said that about Lawrence.
Do you not think that whenever you see Drive to Survive and you see him, he always looks sharp as fuck?
I've never really paid that much attention, to be honest.
He's always in a very nice suit.
looking.
Whereas like Toto Wolff and like Christian Horner, they would just wear team kit all the time. Whereas Lawrence always looks like a fucking G.
Okay. Right. Yeah, well, I mean, I could be wrong, but I thought that was how he made his money, is bringing like Ralph Lauren or some brand like that into Canada. So like, what's his deal? Why did he just buy it? How do you go from bringing Ralph Lauren into Canada to just buying an F1 team? Like, does he just froth racing, or what do you know about him?
Yeah, like so the things I know about him from a racing point of view is and a lot of people might disagree with this and say, oh, he just bought the team to just put his son in the car because his son wanted to do it and he's rich and da-da-da. I actually look at it completely different. His son had a passion when he was a kid. He wanted to be a racing driver. That's Lance Stroll, if anyone that doesn't know. And so his dad, like any dad would, gave him everything he could to succeed in that. He bought him go-karts. He put him through the ranks and got him training and gave him everything he could. And the difference there is that, my dad did the same for me, except my dad's not a fucking billionaire.
Yes.
And I'm sure if he was, I'd be in F1 right now. But like, yeah, he did everything he could for his son, and him and his son shared a passion for watching F1. Canadians are very big F1 fans. Like the racing Canada every year is huge. I mean, we met Canadians at the Australian Grand Prix in 24.
Yeah, great people.
Great people. Still, I literally spoke to them last night. I mean, I didn't think they were great people after 17 Guinness, but that was me. That was more me being a wiener and being
that
drunk.
That was you and not a great person.
That was me not being a great.
Weirdest behaviour I've ever seen on a night out from anyone.
That was rogue.
That's a different story.
That's a very different story. Well, I'm still friends with them, and I spoke to him last night, so we still chat quite a lot. But yeah, like Canadians love F1, always have done. It's just like the Chinese. It's like a weird, like you wouldn't expect them to be such big F1 fans, but like F1 in China, F1 in Japan, and F1 in Canada are like these niche groups of diehard F1 fans.
Gotcha.
So it doesn't surprise me that Lawrence is an F1 fan and grew up watching it with his son. For him owning a team and his interest in it, I think was more his business brain switching on and him going, well, his son was already racing in Williams, and he actually offered Williams a lot of money to buy Williams out. And I'm equal parts happy that he didn't and sad that he didn't, because happy, he may have rebranded us and ruined the Williams history. Sad, because Williams could have had more success a few years ago. I'm happier where Williams is at right now, though. I'd rather us be where we're at than be where Aston Martin is.
Sure.
But yeah, so from his point of view, he obviously funded and helped sponsor and bring Canadian sponsors to Formula One teams like Williams so that his son could get a seat. Lance Stroll is not a bad driver when I say, look at Logan Sargent and Nicholas Latifi.
Okay.
He gets by and he does okay. He's certainly not the best. He's a midfield to back of field driver, but he's not bad. He's not terrible. He can have wheel-to-wheel racing and do things.
Okay.
A lot of the time he crashes, but like, he's technically not a terrible driver.
Okay, sure.
But yeah, I think for Lawrence buying the team, it's more that he saw in 2019, especially with Drive to Survive and things like that coming on board, he saw F1 was moving in a way, and the executives of F1 and the FIA and other F1 teams, he could see that all of these people that are millionaires, billionaires were investing heavily, because in 5, 10, 15 years time, this is going to be one of the biggest This is going to be one of the biggest sports financially in the world, and is going to be a very good return on investment for him. So he's a very smart man, and to think that Lawrence is in here to fuck spiders and to mess around in the midfield is, if you think that, you're a fucking moron. He's here to win, because to win means more money in his pocket, which is what every businessman wants to do. Mm-hmm. And so I think like anyone that doesn't take Aston Martin and Lawrence Stroll seriously are morons. This guy wins in business and in life. So that's what he's here to do in F1.
Okay. On the Lance Stroll driving situation. So yeah, I can appreciate he's obviously not a horrendous driver, right? Like every now and then you see Lance Stroll do something, like, oh fuck yeah, that was cool.
That was pretty good, yeah.
And yeah, in amongst that, you also see him just like bulldoze into other cars and stuff, and it's like it's very easy to jump on board, so sort of hating him for this whole your dad's rich situation.
Yeah.
But no, like, so obviously he's a decent driver in his own right. I guess the question is, if his dad didn't own the team, like, would he have that seat, right? Like, if like you say, he's a decent driver in F1, he'd be, he's okay, like midfield sort of thing. But is there someone else? Are there other drivers in maybe an F2 or people that are missing out that would be in that seat that could do a better job, I guess is the question.
100%. 1,000. But there's, if his dad wasn't a billionaire, I don't doubt he would have got to F1 because I think at the point of when he got to Williams, he was, he'd been through the junior categories and stuff and was pretty good, had some good sponsors behind him. I think he may have got to F1, but I think he would have been, in and out kind of driver, like 2-3 years, seeing a bit, go off to race sports cars or whatever, prototypes or whatever like that. Like he's a good racing driver and wouldn't struggle to make money elsewhere, but I don't think he would have had the length of career he currently has had without his dad being there, because I don't think his skill is up to the standard of other drivers. When Hülkenberg was dropped and was Aston Martin, an Aston Martin reserve driver for that year, and I think, was it Seb and Stroll? But Stroll got COVID, and I think it was Seb, it might have been Fernando. One of them got COVID as well, and Hulk became like the super sub, and he came in and raced for them and fucking dominated, like did really well in the car. And I think when you look at that, Stroll should have been the reserve, Hulk should have been the main. Mm-hmm. When Valtteri Bottas was dropped by, Sauber / Audi, he should have gone to. He's a better driver than Stroll. He deserved that seat at Aston Martin more than Lance Stroll did. I think if you ask Valtteri Bottas right now, he'd be happier where he's at Cadillac than at the Aston Martin program. But, I'm talking about two drivers there that are current F1 drivers and have been F1 drivers for a while. I think there's more than enough juniors waiting in the wings that could take over from his Aston Martin seat. Felipe Nasr has been a, did I say Felipe Nasr? No, he was a driver like fucking 10, 15 years ago. Felipe Drugovich has been a phenomenal reserve for Aston Martin and deserved to be in that seat 2 or 3 years ago. And it's just, unfortunately, his career has kind of been shat on because Lance Stroll is in the car, in my opinion.
Okay. So how do you balance these two opinions? You've got the opinion that there are better drivers than him waiting in the wings, but also the opinion that Lawrence Stroll is this fierce businessman who's in there to win sort of thing. Like, I assume he's just weighing up winning versus helping his son or whatever his motivation is there sort of thing.
Yep.
Is he just banking on Fernando Alonso to win then?
From a driver's championship point of view, I think yes. That's why you got Seb. That's why you got Fernando. If they can build a car, Fernando would beat Stroll over a season, in my opinion. I think he's banking more on the car. Mm-hmm. That's why we've seen him invest so much fucking money in Adrian Newey and everyone else behind the scenes in that team, is that he is trying to buy the facilities. Like look at the Aston Martin factories over the last 3-4 years that they've built. They've quadrupled their size of the factories that they have to be able to make F1 cars. And they finally went online last year, and this year's going to be the first full car we see designed out of their new facilities with the new machinery. So he invested 4 or 5 years ago into this year's championship, just like Williams have been doing since James Vowles came on board. Mm-hmm. But facilities wise, he's invested in people and facilities to try and build the best F1 car. Because if they can build a car that's faster than everyone else on the grid, then like let's say they had 2 equal drivers on Fernando's level, and they could build a car where Fernando can finish 30 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Stroll should be finishing top 4. And if they can have that where Fernando's winning everything and Stroll is within that top 4 podium in most weekends, they can bring home both titles.
Okay. I see.
But who knows? He may also just be delusional and think his son is a lot better than what he is.
Okay.
But how I balance it with, like, from a moral point of view is like, the sport has always been run by money. We've always been dictated by money. There's always been paid drivers in our sport, and Williams, we've been guilty of it for fucking way too long now. Like, you're going to have paid drivers no matter what. Franco Colapinto ultimately brings a lot of South American sponsors. He also just happens to be a very good driver. Arvin Lindblad will come with a lot of good sponsors. He also happens to be a very good driver. It's just how the sport is. It's how it always has been, because it costs a lot of money to go racing. So yeah, Stroll could be a dying, that concept of a paid driver could be a dying breed. Like, I don't think we'll see a Nicholas Latifi or Logan Sargent ever again. Anyone that bad that just has a fuck ton of money to bring to the team. I don't think we'll see that ever again because of the budget caps and certain things like that. But billionaires putting their semi-decent sons in cars will probably still continue to happen till the end of time.
All right.
We've talked a lot of names. We've said a lot of people's names around this team. We've mainly said 3 names. But just to throw out some more names that are iconic, or one more name that is iconic, is Adrian Newey. Adrian Newey is a very big signing for 2026 mainly. He was there all of last year, developing, designing, learning about this year's regulations and this year's cars. And he's going to be team principal as well this year, which is the first time we've ever seen him in a team principal role, which is fascinating. And I think it's a bold move for Aston Martin to be making.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's been a genius at like designing aerodynamic cars for donkey's years.
Yeah.
But not necessarily a genius at being a team principal.
Yeah.
So that seems like a gamble.
It does. Where I would give him his flowers is that to be a team principal, all you need to do, the main thing you need to do is understand how to manage people on a base level. And by that, I mean, like, look at McLaren's success. It's because Zach and Andreas, hand in hand, manage everyone below them that are better than them at certain areas of the role. Adrian Newey knows he's a weapon aerodynamicist. Adrian Newey, from an electronics point of view or from an engineering point of view with an engine, is not as good as other people. So all Adrian Newey needs to do is just be level-headed enough to know his strengths and his weaknesses, and then to hire in the correct departments. And I think that's a lot. That sounds easy as fuck.
Yeah.
It sounds easy as fuck me saying that right now, but I think when you're in the team and you're in the moment with all of that, it can be a very hard, and your ego gets in the way. It can be a very hard thing to do. And also just for the talent available for them other departments, you've got to get the best of the best, but from what is available. Because, you look at teams like Williams, Cadillac, Audi, and Aston Martin. There's 4 teams on the grid that have been doing major back of house hiring for like a minimum of 3 years, but some of them longer now. So all of these really high-end people from Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, Red Bull that have been wanting new challenges. It's like, where are they going? Because they're going to one of these 4 teams, or do you know what I mean? And so the hiring becomes difficult, and you have different obstacles, and the management of people is a very big thing that Adrian needs to focus on. Whether he can do that or not, I don't know. But I think he's quite a level-headed guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We shall see.
We shall see.
So you've said they were, before becoming Aston Martin, before getting bought out, yada, 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 they were Force India for a long time.
Yeah.
Was that team good? How were those years of F1?
No.
Okay.
Like, they were a midfield team. Like they were fine. But no, they weren't anything you're writing home about kind of thing. Like, they had some really nice looking cars. If you look at some of the Force India, like 2013, 14, 15 era Force India, beautiful looking cars with like the red, orange and green for like the Indian flag, like really nice looking cars. But no, they had good drivers. Like they've had some very big iconic names: Sergio Perez, Hulkenberg, Adrian Sutil. Again, don't agree with any of the things he does or says. They've had some good talent through the ranks, but never a team with major success. Okay. Yeah.
And then they were Racing Point for a few years. I assume they were similar there, like nothing too amazing.
Similar, but they got in my opinion, one of the best race wins I've ever seen in my life. Sergio Perez it was during the COVID year, I think. So we were going to Bahrain for the second time. I think we were doing the outer circuit. I think it might have been the same race as Grosjean's big crash where he burst into flames.
Okay.
You seen the one where he...
Yeah.
I'm sure it was the same race. So at the end of lap 1, Sergio was in last place and he won the race.
No way.
Yeah.
Dang.
Unreal race. Sergio Perez's first ever race win as well.
What?
In F1, yeah.
Wow.
Unreal.
Go Sergio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like one of the best race wins in modern history, for sure. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Okay. But otherwise, fairly quiet during those years.
Fairly quiet.
They were bought out by Aston Martin, taken over by Aston Martin, and they were good in 2023.
2023.
They were on the podiums.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
They had pretty much side-by-side copied Mercedes. There was investigations for whether there was files passed between Mercedes and Aston Martin. So in preseason testing, a lot of people were like, them side pods, that front suspension, that front wing, people were putting the cars side by side and they looked identical. The Mercedes from the previous year, which was a fit from the 2021. Actually, I can't remember which one it was, but it was a good Mercedes and it looked identical to it, like so identical. And literally, their explanation for it was, we looked at photos of the Mercedes, we drew the parts. It's like, okay, seems like there should be more to that.
Yeah, okay.
I don't really know what ended up happening with that, but yeah, like they just designed a really fucking good car, and it just went well in 23, and then just 24, 25, kind of nothing.
Yeah.
Didn't do a lot. So, but this was because they knew 26, 27 with the new regs was their main focus. So I think they just kind of was like, yeah, we don't care. Let's focus on that one. Just like Williams.
Okay.
Yeah. So to look forward, like we just have for this team, current drivers, Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll, we've covered that. In 2024, P5 in the championship, 94 points, pretty decent. 2025, P7, 89 points. So not much of a points difference, but 2 positions lower, which shows how tight that midfield was. I mean, the whole field was pretty tight. The top 4 were really tight, and then the bottom 6 were really tight in the positionings and in the points. So yeah, not a terrible finish, but not the best finish for them last year. Mm-hmm. Strengths, they've got huge. They've made huge investments in the facilities and their back of house. Like I've mentioned, their facilities are probably the biggest. They've had the biggest growth in facilities and resources in the last 5 years that any team has had in a long time, probably since Mercedes rise to success. And so if we look at that, usually new facilities, new technology, new equipment does equal performance and good cars. These new facilities are one of the main reasons why Adrian Newey decided to leave Red Bull and go there, is because he wanted this new technology for design work and for production and manufacture work. And that was a very big reason for Adrian Newey going there. So, take Aston Martin very seriously. I said it last year. My 2 bets for this year are Williams and Aston Martin winning the World Championship, because
both of them.
Well, I'm going to put separate bets on each of them, because in my opinion, they are going to be the dark horses of this year. I don't think people will expect it, and that either one of them two could dominate this era of F1.
Oh.
Yeah. Any weaknesses? Lance Stroll is a big weakness. If they do design a car that is on par with a championship winning car, whether they can convert that into a constructors championship if they're only on par, I don't think Lance Stroll's good enough to beat the likes of the McLaren boys, the Ferrari boys, the Williams boys, the Mercedes boys, the Red Bull boys. Like, I don't think if all of them cars, if we have 5 cars all around the same time, Stroll won't compete as much as Fernando will.
Sure.
And another potential weakness is Fernando Alonso's age. Yeah. If they do design a good car, will we see more fatigue from Fernando throughout the season? Will he be able to actually challenge over a 24 race season against these young drivers? We just don't know.
We do not. Yeah, that's a nerve-wracking driver lineup.
Yeah. I would say one of the weakest driver lineups on the grid. Like, in terms of, we don't know how Fernando can do competitively over a 24 race season, and we know Stroll probably isn't there. Like, there's 2 massive question marks over that.
Yeah.
So, team, facilities, back of house, one of the best on the grid. Drivers, one of the worst, if not the worst.
All right.
Yeah. But also could be completely wrong. Like, we could get fucking 20 races, 15 races in and just go, well, Fernando's still a fucking weapon, and how is he doing that at his age? We'll see. Time will tell.
See.
So that is it for the Aston Martin episode. If you've enjoyed this series so far, this is episode 7, we have another 4 team episodes to go.
Yep.
So if you've enjoyed it, please follow along on any forms of social media, any platforms you're listening to us on. Just search Formula Fools and you'll find us. We're doing 34 and 34. It's going well. We're 7 in. Is it feeling less daunting now that we've recorded 7 and 3 of them are edited and are scheduled?
No, not really.
Still nervous?
Yeah,
same.
Yeah.
I won't lie, I looked at my calendar last night and I was like, even if we finish all of these team ones by the end of this week, I go to China in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So we have 3 weeks to record 23 episodes. One of them we're going to have to record when I'm in China.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that issue. Then we were talking about when we're going to record tomorrow's episode. earlier, and just both of our schedules are fucked for the next few days, so it's like we probably can't.
Yeah.
And then Dave's grand plan for China is, well, I'm gonna be in the airport all day. So these 2 days here, I'll just get all 22 driver episodes edited in those 2 days while I'm in the airport. I'm like, mate, I don't know if you've ever been in an airport, but it's like the least productive place to work possible. It'll take you an hour to connect to the Wi-Fi. Like,
Okay. A, I don't need the Wi-Fi to edit. B, incorrect. When I was in Adelaide 2 months ago, my God, I got to the airport like 3 hours early, and I was sat in the airport for 3 hours. Man, I did so much fucking work in them 3 hours. I was so productive. Okay, I paid extra to go in a lounge so that I could get faster Wi-Fi and everything else.
okay.
But like, I'll fucking pay extra to go in a lounge if it means I'm going to get Fool's edits done.
Yeah, but then you go in a lounge and they got free beers.
Yeah. Skin. Do you know how many beers I consumed whilst working on Fool's when I was in Adelaide?
No.
I must have had like 8 beers. Even after Phillip Island, when I was coming back from Phillip Island, I met someone at the race, and she had Virgin like passes. She was like, "Oh, I can get you in as a guest." Her plane was like 20 minutes after we got there, so she fucked off. I had 8 hours in the airport, and I was like, if I'm going to get free access to this lounge, I think I had like genuinely 16 beers.
Yeah.
Like I got on that plane and I was like,
you would be silly not to. That's what I mean.
I don't think it was 16. I think it was like 7, but still.
But still.
Yeah, for the story, we'll put some mayo on. Yeah. It was 100 beers.
100 beers. I mean, you have to. They're free.
We've gone on a massive tangent. Anyway, thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for...
I have no idea.
No, neither do
Another team.
Another team. I want to tell you now because I said it. Haas.
Hell yeah.
Henry will be so hyped for that one.
Go Haas.
All right. See you later.